Most people buying a budget smart TV make the same mistake. They walk into a store, see the biggest screen at the lowest price, bring it home, and spend the next several years watching a washed-out, dim picture that makes streaming look worse than their 10-year-old set ever did. The budget TV market is more confusing now than it has been ever. Samsung, Hisense, TCL, Roku, and a dozen other brands are all selling $400 to $500 televisions with overlapping spec sheets, and the difference between a screen that genuinely impresses and one that disappoints comes down to a handful of technical features that none of the marketing language actually explains clearly. I have been through the independent testing data from Artings, Tom's Guide, Tech Radar, Consumer Reports, and hands-on reviews from the most credible television evaluation sources available. These are the 5 budget smart TVs worth considering right now, and I am going to tell you exactly what to buy based on your room, your habits, and what you actually need from a television in this price range.
Number 5. Samsung Q60D, the best budget TV for Samsung loyalists. Starting at number 5, the Samsung Q60D, and the honest reason it opens this list is that Samsung's brand recognition and ecosystem integration still matter to a large portion of buyers, and the Q60D is the best argument Samsung makes at the budget tier. Tech Radar named it their best budget Samsung pick after testing across the brand's full lineup, specifically noting its detailed and colorful picture as its standout quality. Let me explain what that means in practical terms and where the trade-offs start. Samsung uses quantum dot technology in their QLED lineup to boost color volume beyond what a standard LCD panel can deliver. The Q60D benefits from this, producing vivid, punchy colors that look genuinely impressive on streaming content from services like Netflix and Disney Plus under normal room lighting. The Tizen Smart platform is fast, well-organized, and integrates cleanly with Samsung's broader ecosystem of phones, tablets, and smart home devices. If you are already using a Samsung phone or a SmartThings setup, the Q60D connects into that without any configuration friction. The remote is slim, solar rechargeable, and one of the better designed controllers in this price range. The honest limitation is that the Q60D uses edge lighting rather than full-array backlighting with local dimming, which is the single most important difference between a budget TV that punches above its weight and one that does not. Edge lighting means the blacks are grayer than they should be in dark scenes, and the contrast that makes HDR content dramatic and cinematic is largely absent. Samsung also does not support Dolby Vision, which is the HDR standard used by Apple TV+, Disney+, and Netflix for their highest quality streams. Buyers who are locked into the Samsung ecosystem or who simply want the reliability and after-sales support that comes with the brand will find the Q60D adequate, but for pure picture performance per dollar, the competition at this price is stronger.
Number 4. The Roku Plus Series, the best budget TV for stress-free streaming. At number 4, the Roku Plus Series. And this is the television for the buyer who prioritizes one thing above almost everything else: the simplest, most frustration-free smart TV experience available at this price. Tom's Guide listed it as one of their top 3 TVs under $500, and the reason reviewers consistently recommend it is not primarily the panel performance, it is the software. The Roku platform is the most universally praised smart TV interface in the consumer market. It is fast, logical, uncluttered, and does not bury the streaming services you actually use behind layers of promotional content and algorithmic recommendations for content you did not ask for. If you have ever found a Fire TV or Google TV interface to be overwhelming or intrusive, the Roku Plus series will feel like an immediate relief. The 2025 refresh of the Plus series added mini LED backlighting, which is a meaningful hardware upgrade over the previous generation and brings genuine improvements to contrast and HDR performance. Dolby Vision and HDR10 support are both included, covering the full range of HDR standards used across streaming platforms. The 4 HDMI ports provide plenty of connectivity for consoles, streaming sticks, and sound systems. The shadow box design allows the television to sit flush against a wall when mounted, which is a practical aesthetic detail that most budget televisions do not offer. The limitation is peak brightness. In direct comparison testing against the Hisense U6 series, the Roku Plus series falls short on raw brightness output, which affects how HDR content looks in a well-lit room. If your living room gets strong afternoon sunlight, the Hisense models will hold up better. But for buyers who watch in moderately lit environments and want a television that is effortless to set up, navigate, and use every day, the Roku Plus series is the most polished experience at this price.
Number 3. TCL QM6K, the best budget TV for gamers and mixed households. Number 3 is the TCL QM6K, and this is the television that Rtings named the best TV under $500 after testing across the full budget market, specifically citing its local dimming feature as what separates it from similarly priced competition. It launched in early 2025 with QD Mini LED technology, which combines quantum dots for color volume with Mini LED backlighting for contrast and brightness at a price point that previously required spending significantly more. Let me explain what local dimming actually delivers and why it is the feature that matters most in this category. Local dimming works by independently controlling groups of LED lights behind the panel. When a scene has a bright object against a dark background, a locally dimmed TV can dim the dark areas while keeping the bright areas lit, which produces deeper blacks and more dramatic contrast than any edge-lit television can replicate. The QM6K's implementation of this is one of the best available at its price, producing bold, deep blacks that make dark scenes in films and television look genuinely cinematic rather than murky gray. For gaming specifically, the QM6K is the strongest performer on this list. The native 144 Hz refresh rate, with a gaming rate up to 288 Hz for supported content, HDMI 2.1 inputs, variable refresh rate support, and low input lag combine to produce the most complete gaming feature set available under $500. CNET's testing found it delivers flagship-level features for gaming performance at a price that undercuts the competition significantly. The Google TV platform is fast, capable, and offers one of the best search functions of any smart TV interface currently available, pulling results across streaming services simultaneously. The limitation most commonly noted is that the Hisense U6 series outperforms it on peak brightness, which affects HDR impact in brighter rooms. But for a buyer who games regularly, watches films in a controlled environment, or simply wants the strongest contrast performance at this price, the TCL QM6K is the most technically capable option under $500.
Number 2. Hisense U6QF, the best overall budget TV for most living rooms. At number 2, the U6QF, and this is the television that Tom's Guide chose as their best overall pick under $500 after testing the full budget market, calling it an exceptional mini LED TV that makes all the right trade-offs for a pleasing picture at a genuinely low price. Let me explain what makes it stand out in a category where several good options exist. The headline performance advantage the U6QF holds over every other television at this price is brightness. In direct comparison testing against the TCL QM6K, TechRadar found it to be nearly twice as bright, which is not a marginal difference. It is the kind of gap you see on the screen immediately. Brightness matters in ways that spec sheets do not always communicate clearly. A brighter panel means HDR highlights actually look like highlights rather than slightly lighter grays. It means the television is usable in a living room with windows, daylight, or overhead lighting without the picture looking washed out. It means the color volume, which is how vibrant colors remain at high brightness levels, stays impressive under the kind of real-world viewing conditions that most households actually have. The U6QF runs Amazon's Fire TV platform, which gives you full access to every major streaming service, Alexa voice control, and the recently added Alexa Plus features, including scene jumping in Prime Video and smart home integrations that go beyond what Google TV currently offers. The color accuracy measured at a delta E value below 3, which is the threshold below which the human eye cannot detect errors, meaning the U6QF's colors are accurate enough that calibration is essentially unnecessary straight out of the box. Local dimming delivers good contrast without significant backlight blooming in standard viewing content. The honest limitation is the Fire TV interface itself. Amazon's platform carries advertising for Amazon services and promotional content that some users find intrusive, and the recommendation algorithms lean heavily toward Prime Video content over other services. If the Fire TV interface is a deal breaker, the TCL QM6K with Google TV at a comparable price is the alternative to consider. But on raw picture performance in a real-world living room, the Hisense U6QF is the strongest performing budget television available right now.
And here is the number 1, the Hisense U8QG. This is the television that TechRadar described as delivering a fantastically bright screen with low reflectivity at a price that puts it within reach of serious buyers who are willing to spend just above the strict $500 ceiling. And it is the machine that reviewers across RTINGS, TechRadar, and consumer testing sources consistently point to when asked what the best value television in the near-premium space actually is. It comes in at around $600 to $700, depending on retailer and timing, and what it delivers at that price is the performance gap that separates a good budget television from a genuinely impressive one. Let me explain what changes when you move from the U6QF to the U8QG, because the difference is not marginal. Peak brightness on the U8QG reaches levels that produce proper HDR performance, even in rooms with significant ambient light. This is the number that matters most for HDR content, because HDR requires sufficient brightness to actually display the highlights that the format was designed to show. On most budget televisions, HDR content is technically supported, but practically underwhelming because the panel cannot get bright enough to make the highlights pop. The U8QG eliminates that problem. The low reflectivity screen surface means glare from windows and overhead lights is suppressed more effectively than on any television at this price, which is the feature that makes the brightness advantage usable rather than theoretical. The built-in sound system includes a 4.1.2 channel configuration, which produces better audio performance than any other television at this price, and significantly reduces the urgency of buying a separate soundbar immediately. For buyers on a total setup budget, that matters. Google TV provides a fast, well-organized interface with comprehensive search and free content from Hisense's own streaming channels. The HDMI 2.1 ports, 144 Hz panel, variable refresh rate, and low input lag deliver a gaming setup that competes with dedicated gaming monitors in this price range. The honest trade-off is that you are spending more than the strict budget ceiling, and the subwoofer in the built-in sound system has limitations noted by reviewers at higher volume levels. But as a complete package, combining brightness that makes HDR content actually look like HDR, a low reflectivity screen that works in real living rooms, built-in sound that delays the soundbar purchase, and a gaming feature set that satisfies most players, the Hisense U8QG is the clearest winner in the Budget Smart TV category, and the best television available for buyers who want to get out of the upgrade cycle for several years.
Here is the direct answer. If you are in the Samsung ecosystem and want brand consistency and Tizen integration above all else, the Samsung Q60D is the honest choice at the budget level, with the understanding that picture performance is not its primary strength. If you want the simplest, most intuitive streaming experience available and watch in a moderately lit room, the Roku Plus series delivers the best smart platform at this price, with a solid mini-LED picture that will satisfy most casual viewers. If you game regularly, watch films in a controlled environment, or want the deepest contrast and most complete gaming feature set under $500, the TCL QM6K with Google TV is the most technically capable pick at that strict ceiling. If you watch in a bright living room and want the strongest raw picture performance in the budget tier, the Hisense U6QF delivers brightness and color accuracy that outperforms every other television at its price. And if you can stretch slightly above the $500 mark and want the best budget television available right now with proper HDR brightness, a low reflectivity screen that works in daylight, built-in audio that reduces the need for a soundbar, and a gaming setup that punches well above its price, the Hisense U8QG is the clear winner. Links to all 5 are in the description below. If this saved you from buying the wrong screen, hit like and subscribe to Product Research Specialist for more honest buying guides like this one.